Pawn Man. My name's Evan Kale, and this is my gold and silver business. If you guys haven't seen this show before, it's a reality show about my job, my business. It's educational, and it's entertaining. I have no idea what's gonna come through my door today. It could be anything from an ancient Roman coin to a Rolex watch, but I'll tell you guys this much, if the price is right, I'm gonna try and buy it because we have one motto here, and that is a profit is a profit. Let's get started today and see what happens. Let's take a peek at what we got here. We got a presidential inaugural medal from Reagan. We got some space stuff here. Apollo the 12th. This one's silver, and then this one's brass. Space Shuttle Columbia. This is the one that blew up, right? Or is that the Challenger?
I think so.
Challenger blew up.
I think it was Challenger.
Discovery blew up? Two of them blew up. One of them in 03 and one of them in 86 or 7. Yeah, this is a sterling metal. That's what this is.
It is?
Yeah. This one I gotta look up. I don't think this one's silver. I think this is plated. Because I didn't get a reading.
That'd be a lot of
Sigma.
silver if it is.
Franklin Mint. Yeah, these are all sterling. I've seen these before. So 195 on this pile. All right, 274. I'm rounding up, call 275. Let me get you a cash. I don't need an ID for this stuff because it's bullion. 2, 3, 4, 275. Let me also get you a receipt. It's kind of quickly going over that deal. So I got some premium boomer shit. We have an inaugural medal for Ronald Reagan. These got for about 40 bucks online. I paid, I think 10 or 15. These are sterling silver, but on eBay, these are going as high as $90 each. We'll see how well I do on these. I might just auction these off starting bid $1 and let it ride, but I'll certainly get more than 15 on each of these, and these are cool art pours that have to do with space. These are just Franklin Mint ones. Yeah, these are great. Love these. I'm gonna do really well on this. I bet I'll make a couple $100 on this deal. And then this came with it. No, this is a different one. I got this from my dealer. I'm gonna probably do this on eBay starting bid $1. It's a 1 ounce silver round commemorating the Metrodome. The Minnesota Twins. The Metrodome is the shittiest fucking stadium that we used to have, and it collapsed when I was in college because we had a snowstorm that was so crazy the roof caved in. And then all of Minnesota was like, so are we gonna fix it? Because we don't really like it. And the city and everyone else was like, no, we're not gonna fix it. We're gonna tear it down. And you fuckers are gonna pay for a $1 billion new stadium that's even uglier. And there we have it. Now we have a new, even uglier stadium that kills a lot of birds and is an eyesore and is apparently ungodly expensive to maintain. Another thing that I have been doing, I've discovered people time their auctions on eBay really weird. Like, they don't realize that there's nobody up at 1 a.m. So that's a bad time to have your auction end. You know who is up at 1 a.m. though? Is me. So what I've been doing lately is I've just been combing eBay auctions for cool coins, looking for them that end at like unusual times at like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then I step in and bid snipe because there's nobody bidding against me that late. So I've gotten some great coins. I've expanded my inventory here in the store a lot, and I've gotten to some great deals on graded coins by doing this. I shouldn't even tell you guys this because I don't want competition. But I just sold a graded coin mystery box. So let me show you what they're getting for $350. So it's a collection of 6 coins. They are getting an MS-70 2015 koala from Australia. They are getting an MS-63 1880p Morgan silver dollar with some little bit of rim toning here. I'm sorry, not rim toning. It's just toning. A MS-68 2021 Great White Shark coin. These are pretty cool. Actually, I bought 5 of these. A 9/11 World Trade Center recovery coin, a Jamaica halfpenny, and I almost don't want to sell this one, but it fit the bill for the amount of money that they were spending. An MS-66 red and ACS graded Lincoln error penny. So this coin, Lincoln has an extra thumb right here. You have to look really, really closely. It is a very minute error, but it is an error coin. And then this MS-70 Baseball Hall of Fame first release. So it was a $350 box, obviously shipping tax included, but they're getting 6 graded coins, 2 of which are graded MS-70. So if you would like a coin mystery box, let me know because I have more than enough coins to go around for some cool stuff. And I got some mail to open up. What do we, oh nice. Christ. Forgot I bought this. What do we have here? I got some toys. Sonic the Hedgehog. What did I pay? I think I paid like 60 bucks on this thing. This goes for 130. And a bunch of Hot Wheels, which this like is not really my area per se, but the deal was good and I do a ton of business with this guy. And honestly, the guy who sold this to me, I don't want to say he's annoying me, but every day, like every day he's got something to sell, and it's like, holy shit, where do you get all this stuff? And like, yeah, I don't know, he can be kind of hard to negotiate with sometimes, because he, like everyone else, this is my problem lately, everybody wants 100 cents on the dollar or 95 cents on the dollar for their stuff trying to sell to me, and it's like, what? You know, I have a buy-sell business, meaning I buy for less, sell for more. I make videos about it, I talk about it again and again. I gotta make money here. I'm not just some magic bank where you turn your shit in for all it's worth. So lately I have been getting annoyed with the amount of people that think that that's what I am, and it's like, where am I supposed to make money? You know, your thing's worth $100 and you want $100 for it. Why would I do that? But in any event, I appreciate the business I am doing with this guy, and I think for, when I got into all these, maybe 90 bucks? I think for 90 bucks I'll do okay. Make about 50 bucks on this. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. I have so much to do today, but I also have just so much back inventory that's been building up, and we're like getting more stuff than we can sell. So a lot of times when people do these remote deals with me, they send me stuff, I can't part it out, item by item, stuff like this, you know, boomer shit that's super cheap. It's not worth my time. It's not worth Juliet's time for what I pay her per hour. So what I gotta do is I just gather up all the crap and then I blow it out in one big bundle. So that's what I'm doing right now. I have like a month's worth of inexpensive US coins that have just been accumulating in a box. And like, I'm kind of low on money right now, so I gotta generate some more revenue. And the shit, when I sit on it and don't turn it, it's just money I've sunk into something that I gotta sit on. So what we're doing now is a massive coin lot, and yeah, it's kind of, I run into the question of like, well, how much expensive stuff do I want to put in this? Because like, you know, I could put in some Morgans, I could put in some graded coins. I've been a little jubilant in buying all these graded coins. People on Instagram keep offering me great deals, and I like never pass them up, and I should stop doing that because I'm spending a lot of money on inventory that I haven't listed yet. It's sitting in my case. I have it backlogged in my like store inventory, but I haven't really put a lot of it up for sale. So I have, oh God, I bet I have well over $5,000 tied up into random shit that I haven't listed yet. So right now, I'm just blowing all this stuff out. Oh shit, I just dropped one. I'll show you what this looks like when I'm done assembling it. All right, so here it all is. There is some valuable stuff in here. I threw in a 1996 Silver Eagle, an 81S Morgan, and this Kennedy that's been graded that I can't seem to sell, so I'm gonna just throw it in here. So all in all, I'll probably get about 200 bucks on this lot, and it's more than I got into it. Name of the game, it's what you gotta do. And I'm not gonna turn my heat off. Again, it's getting cold out. I keep having to turn it off to film stuff, and it's like, I don't care. I said I don't care. You can't hear me. And I got a little gift from White Owl Books. Thank you, Jacob. Sent me a letter, says, Dear Evan, love your content. Just wanted to give a small gift of gratitude for your content and awesome work as a fellow small business owner in antiquarian books. Well, there's a big fancy word. I love how informative your episodes are about our industry and appreciate the level of detail you provide. This series of letters from 1879 talks about the bimetallism movement in the UK and could be an interesting topic to talk about in one of your episodes. It also has some interesting graphs showing gold and silver ratios during that period. Oh, that is interesting. Thank you, Jacob. As far as the content of that itself, I'll talk about that in a different episode because that's not what I've scripted for this episode, and I'm not doing more research. I'm already busy enough, but here's what he sent. Letters on the silver question, Samuel Smith of Liverpool from 1879. Okay, so I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but that's pretty interesting. Oh, lovely. One glance and I already see something racist. The Oriental and other Eastern banks will no longer dare to lend their money to tea and coffee planters in India, repayable in rupees, after the lesson they have received. Unless we do something to unite gold and silver in a way which France did for so many years, a barrier of extreme difficulty is raised to that beneficial flow of capital abroad, which in the cause of our national wealth and which has greatly fostered our home industries. Well, cool. Very cool. I appreciate it, Jacob. Thank you. Check this out. Somebody on Discord is trying to sell me a painting, El Chapo, Scarface, and Pablo Escobar. Do I want a painting of that in here? Anime Mind Evan says, yeah, but businessman common sense, not trying to get canceled, Evan says, well, maybe hanging a photo of a couple of mass murderers isn't a great idea, even if one of them is fictitious. Especially because I already have on display one painting of a mass murderer. Potentially two, depending on how you look at that clown. I think it's bad enough that I have this guy on display. If y'all don't know, I think I've already talked about this, but Simeon Bundy, this guy here, was good buddies with Stalin. He helped him in the Purge. He also led a cavalry charge on horseback against the Germans in World War II. It didn't go so good. It was kind of one of those, either come back with your shield or on it. it was very dishonorable for him to retreat the way that he did when everybody got slaughtered but him. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna limit the amount of mass murderers I have displayed in here. I'm gonna probably pass on that. But he did say he had some photos of Pancho, or some old wanted posters of Pancho Villa, so I might be interested in that. Let's see. I got something to show you guys. I want to thank Redneck Coins, I think it was Redneck Coins, who sent me this. Pretty sure it was Redneck. I hope it was Redneck Coins. If not, if it wasn't Redneck Coins who sent this to me, sorry. Yeah, we'll just assume it was. Anyway. This Benjamin Franklin, this 1955 Franklin, is what is known as a Bugs Bunny. And the reason why it is known as a Bugs Bunny, if you look closely, right where Benjamin Franklin's teeth are, it looks like he has 2 buck teeth. Now, it's a very difficult to see variety. You gotta look at it with a loop. But the reason why we get this feature, particularly in 1955, it's a die clash. So as the die on the reverse strikes this eagle, right where the eagle's wings are, it happens to protrude a little bit on the obverse, and you get these kind of weird markings right by his teeth. This is not a rare variety by any means. It's estimated that upwards of 50% of all 1955 Franklins are gonna be this variety. Some varieties we've covered are worth a lot of money. For example, 1900 O over CC Carson Cities. You look at the mint mark, and if you see 2 CCs and the O overlaying it, it's worth $100 at least, way more than a normal one would be. This variety, it's cute, it's fun, it's not exactly rare, it won't really do anything to drive up the price. You also, there's 2 other varieties within this variety. There's a vampire variety where his teeth just look sharper, and then there's the booger nose variety. It looks like he's got a booger coming out of his nose. So now you know. You see a Bugs Bunny stamp on a 55 Franklin, don't do a backflip. It's nothing terribly rare or special, but it is interesting. Understanding die clashes and different kinds of varieties is a very important part of numismatics. You know, like I said, some varieties can massively enhance the value of a coin. And I'm gonna do 2 things at once here because I can't refilm this. This is a one and done take. So I have this here, Eddie George number 27. It's a vintage NFL round from the Houston Oilers. And what happened was somebody came in and they just sold me a bunch of silver, and I was going through it and I picked this piece out. See, whenever I see stuff like this, I know it's gonna go for way more than the market price on eBay, but I just pay the market price because I can, it's my business. It's how I do things. So this is a limited edition number 850 of I don't know how many. I honestly am not gonna even bother doing the research because I'm for sure gonna do well on this piece. I don't even need to invest the time into knowing exactly how many of these there are. So what I'm gonna do, starting bid $1 on eBay, I bet it'll go for between 50 and 100 bucks, but it's kind of nasty and it could affect the price with how many fingerprints are on it, including my own. So I'm gonna dip this piece. Now, if this was a numismatic coin, I obviously would not want to dip it, it would destroy it, but because it is a bullion piece, it's fine to dip it. To an extent, if you had a really rare, important bullion piece that was like, I don't know, say you had a piece of silver that was in Lincoln's pocket when he was shot, you wouldn't want to dip that. That has historical value, that has an intangible value to it, the dipping would destroy, but something like this is just a bullion piece. Dipping, it's fine. Thank you, goldandsilvertesting.com, for sending me a bunch of free stuff. You sent it to me like 6 months ago, and boy, you guys are sure getting your money's worth on my page, I'll tell you that much. But every time I use it, I give you guys a shout out because I appreciate free stuff. So thank you, goldandsilvertesting.com. If you guys want to get good stuff for testing, it's cheap, it's good stuff, go see them. So we're just gonna take this round and drop it right in the silver cleaner. We won't do it for very long. And we pull it out. And I'm gonna just quickly wash it off. And bam, just like that. Look how much better that looks. So now it is ready to go on eBay. And now I am ready to get paid on it. So I was talking with my dad, and he said, so son, what kind of gun you carrying? I'm not wearing a gun. This isn't the old shop. I don't want to do that. He's like, son, you work in a money business. You should have a weapon. It's kind of foolish not. So that thought in my dad telling me that, oh, we got somebody walking in. There's been some violence around the Twin Cities Metro lately, and there have been some really brazen robberies that have happened to gold and silver businesses, like in broad daylight. I have 4 photos of individuals going around town. I've got them from other dealers. And I just don't want to get robbed. I have insurance. I'm not worried about it. I just fucking don't want to deal with it. It's going to be a pain in the ass, and it'll mess with me mentally. I just don't want it to happen. So I'm going to go back to having the gun. It's just on my hip. I hope I never have to use it. It's mainly an intimidation factor. I did find at the other shop having the gun did de-escalate a few things, or like somebody was about to get pissed at me and then they saw I had a gun and they slowed their roll a little bit. So, you know, I have a license, I have a conceal and carry permit, I have a license to have one. Hopefully I never have to use it, but if you guys are wondering why I'm wearing a gun again, it's because I work in the money business and I'm gonna listen to my dad's advice. So I had my first remote deal that I was not able to execute, and the reason being, I offered too much money initially. I didn't quite know what I was getting, and when I got it, it was like, oh, I'm not gonna pay $300 on this. So this came from the person who sent me the North Africa Corps ring, that Nazi ring. This looked more interesting in photos than it actually is. This is it's a passport. It's like a German passport. It's pretty cool. It starts in 1923. The person's name was Elizabeth Enger. September 1920, slave. We are so full of life and happy about the future. Once in 1938, things are, you know, and then they get bad. So I don't know. It's a work passport, or it's some kind of like a work documentation passport. That's what people were telling me on my Discord. I just thought it was like a regular passport. It has to do with work. What's interesting is it goes through 1947, and this person is using like, you know, the Iron Eagle swastika thing. It's like, maybe you should get a new one after 1945, But this thing, it's worth, I don't know, at most 50 bucks. And yeah, I thought it was gonna be thicker. I thought there was gonna be like more like handwritten notes. I'm gonna be real, I thought I was getting some morbid documentation when I saw this, and like I saw some photos of like handwritten notes. I thought, you can imagine what I thought. That's what I thought I was. So I didn't get anything nearly that exciting. And people, you know, I offered 300 and I threw out the price of 400 for a couple people, and they laughed at me, and it was like, well, clearly I'm not gonna get that. And I overestimated what it was worth, and I don't wanna lowball this person. I would rather send it back to them, because I made a lot of money on their Nazi ring, so I don't feel bad, or it doesn't really hurt me that much to mail it back to them in Canada and pay them back for shipping, and I'm gonna give them a Canadian silver dollar on top for the inconvenience. They also sent me this is a helmet decal, but like these two items together, it's just, there's no way I could make this work. So this is going back to Canada, and I'm also paying them back. I'm writing them a check for their shipping costs. So first deal I have not been able to execute remotely, but I haven't quite done 200 yet, but I'm closing in on it. Pretty good success ratio. So if you guys have stuff to sell, send it to me. I'm getting like 5 packages a day, it seems like. Check this out, I sold this piece almost instantly. I've showed you guys these before, these $100 bills. They're 4 ounces of silver. I paid $30 an ounce. I knew I could sell it for about $150. But then I turned it over and I noticed there's some toning on it. I've never seen one with toning. And I just got the question, does toning like this enhance the value? Absolutely. So if I was trying to be a pirate, I would have asked $175. Unfortunately, or well, maybe fortunately, depending on how you put it, one of my Patreons and great customers saw this on my Discord within like 2 minutes of me posting it and wanted to buy it, so I cut him a good deal. I sold this to him at $155 shipped. So make a quick 25, 30 bucks, but hey, profit's a profit, and this is a super cool piece. I'm glad that I was able to show this off like this, because like I said, I've never seen one of these tone like this. And when it comes to toning, you can't do anything to enhance the toning. It's gotta be, you know, it's like the condition of a coin, or, you know, I make the analogy about golf. With golf, you play the ball as it lies. With a coin's condition, you play the coin as it lies. As you found the coin, as that coin's condition forever, you can't clean it, you can't do anything to enhance it. Same story with toning. You can't do anything to artificially enhance your toning. It has to be a natural process. That is the whole beauty of it, is it's something that occurred naturally over time on its own. So if you attempt to manipulate something's colors by, I don't know, putting it in an oven or intentionally storing it someplace extra damp, you're probably gonna hurt the value if you do that. But if you know, put it in a drawer and maybe put a burlap sack on it and you close that drawer for 20 years and then 20 years later you pop it out and it's toned, well, there you go. You've naturally toned a coin or a piece of silver. And one more thing to show you guys before you get into the monologue. So I picked this up from the con artist. It was in a different video. I think it was for last week's video. Number one, let's talk about this. You guys see this right here? The con artist, puts these stickers on himself. I recognize his handwriting. I recognize his handwriting because it's very distinct. Now, number one, he seems to think that I'm an idiot, or like that I'm just not paying attention, because he'll show me shit and then I won't buy it because he wants too much money for it, and then he comes back, you know, like a week later or whatever, and he's got the same shit with some new shit, but a lot of it's the same. But the difference is he'll have these stickers on that he put on himself, and like he just thinks that I'm gonna be like, look at this and think, oh well, it costs $24 somewhere else. You know, it's kind of weird because all these price tags have the same handwriting. I guess that's just what a reasonable price is for them. That's probably what I should pay. You know, it's like, no, I'm not that fucking stupid. Are you kidding me? So, number one, I want to tell you about Judge Roy Bean, because there's a thing I didn't really, you know, I think I paid him $1 for like a pile of shit that I made it was my fuck you price to him, and he took it. And now I actually, to follow up with him, I have sold some of the shit that I bought from him, so my relationship with him is profitable. I just don't want to deal with him too much because he's such a pain in the ass, and like I said, he's a fucking scam artist. But so, okay, so he sold me this deal. Let me just read the back. Judge Roy Bean, 1825 to 1903. Known as the law west of the Pecos, Judge Bean tries a gang of horse thieves in front of the courthouse saloon in Langtree, Texas. Justice was swift. Saloon keeper judge, there's something you don't hear anymore. The saloon keeper judge would often recess trials to sell liquor to the courtroom. Among the unorthodox exploits making him a legend were finding a dead man and staging a heavyweight boxing match in the middle of the Rio Grande. That sounds like a great judge if I've ever heard of one. So this guy would stop the things going on in his courtroom to sell liquor. It's like, hey, I know we got this hanging to get to of a guy who's probably innocent, but who wants to watch that sober? Who, I ask you, who? I have some lovely whiskey I distilled myself. It won't make you blind. You're gonna want some. You're gonna need some for this execution. But the other thing though I wanted to talk about with this guy, the handwriting. It's very, very distinct. Like very aggressive and dominating of it's unique. It is unique in a way that I don't see very often. Now, the reason why I want to bring it up, and I'm talking out of my ass here just a little bit because I only chatted with this guy once, but I never forgot it. So I started as a barback in a bar before working my way up to being a bartender in a way. Working as a barback in this hotel, this was about 10 years ago. And it's late at night, and there's just a few people left in the bar. And this guy sitting at the bar, you know, I'm sitting like putting stuff away. He goes, hey, can I take a picture of your face? And I'm like, what? He goes, here, I'll give you $10. Can I please take a picture of your face? I'm like, what are you gonna do with it? He's like, it's for scientific research. I assure you nothing nefarious is happening with your picture. Can I please take a picture? Fine. So he takes a picture of my face, and then he asks me for a handwriting sample. And he gives me more money. And I give him a handwriting sample, and he goes, huh. And then he starts asking me some, you know, like personality questions. And it's like, you know, what is this? What are you doing? So this guy tells me he works as an analyst for a new cutting edge kind of science where, let's say Wells Fargo is trying to hire a new CEO. What they're gonna do is they're gonna contract the firm that this guy works at, and they're gonna send the firm all of the candidates they have for CEO. And what they send them is not just the resume. They send them a photo, they send them a handwriting sample of the candidate, and they send them a voice sample. The candidate will get a script, read it, record a reading of a script, and turn this over. And with these cues, analyzing their facial structure, analyzing their handwriting and the way that they speak and their speech patterns, this analyst, this firm, is able to deduce a statistically high likelihood whether or not the person in question is gonna be a liability to the company, mainly being, are they a psychopath? So handwriting is apparently very, very important in detecting these possibilities, probabilities that somebody might be dangerous. And I just remember this guy talking about different traits with handwriting, and he said I had a lot of the traits, which I thought was interesting. But what he described with handwriting, with dangerous psychopaths, is exactly what I see here. Now again, I'm not an expert. I only heard it once from this guy, but it was so goddamn interesting I never forgot it. And the first time I saw this guy's handwriting, I flashed back to that. So we'll be seeing more of the con artist. Don't you worry, dear viewer. All right, guys, for this informative segment, we are talking about commemorative silver. Now, what is commemorative silver? It commemorates history on a coin. Commemorative coins go all the way back to the Roman Empire. In the beginning, they served as like mini newspapers. They didn't have newspapers back then, so to commemorate history or events or stuff that would happen, they might put it on a coin. Many nations have issued commemorative coins, but really none of them have anything on America. The amount of commemorative coins that America has issued, it's a lot, and they continue to issue commemorative coins to this day. The coins that we're gonna be talking about, the silver commemoratives, were produced from 1892 to 1954. The first one being the Columbus $50, commemorating Christopher Columbus and the Columbia Exposition at the World's Fair, the same World's Fair that H.H. Holmes haunted. If you guys have not read the book Devil in the White City, I honestly can't look at these coins without thinking about H.H. Holmes, the serial killer. If you guys don't know, he was a serial killer at the 1893 World's Fair. God, he killed a lot of people. He had this like murder castle, and he would just snatch people because there's so many people in town for the fair. He had set this up well in advance. He'd just like snatch them off the street and throw them into his murder castle. He would do terrible things to them, and then they finally caught him after the fair. If you guys have not read the book Devil in the White City, it is like one of my favorite books, a must read by Eric Larson. Also my favorite author. Anyway, so this was the first one. These had a face value of 50 cents. They retailed at the World's Fair for $1, so double face value. And they were not terribly popular. Not a lot of people liked them. A lot of these found their way into circulation after the World's Fair. That's why so many of these coins you see are gonna be coming back as being circulated. This one here is about uncirculated. It's got great toning. You can get these coins as cheap as the metal value, as expensive. This one I've got listed at 50 bucks. I mean, they go as high as 500 to 1,000 for a really nice one, but most of the ones you're gonna see are kind of junky. But this was the first commemorative silver coin that the US Mint produced. And they were common. Almost 2 million of them were minted, which is a pretty big run for something that they only made for 2 years, 1892 and 1893. Now, this is not the first commemorative ever produced. The first one stems all the way back to 1848. The California Quarter Eagle. It was a gold coin made to commemorate the California Gold Rush. But those are exceptionally rare. They did not make a whole lot of those. So to get a commemorative issue, 2 authorities of Congress have to agree. The Committee on Banking and Currency for the Senate, and the Committee of Coinage, Weights, and Measurements by the House. They'll pass a bill, and then they'll issue the commemorative. Now, it's not a simple expenditure. Making a coin can be kind of expensive. Everything from paying the engraver to come up with the design, to putting it into production, to paying all the people at the mint to make it happen. It's not something they can just willy-nilly do. Frankly, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do because of how expensive it can be, but that's neither here nor there. Interestingly, from 1940 to 1945, no commemorative coins were struck. And like I said, what happens with these coins, they'll put them out, and if they're big flops, then they'll find their way into circulation. But these days, you can't really find these commemoratives in circulation because they're made from silver, and even the crappy ones can be kind of expensive. Some of these coins are pretty silly. Many of them commemorate states or historical items. There is a Monroe Doctrine coin. The Monroe Doctrine coming from President James Monroe in 1823. It was the manifest destiny of the United States to control the entire Western Hemisphere, or control North America and South America. So that coin features North and South America on the reverse, but it's a fantastical imagination of North America and South America as being 2 angels. Mostly these commemorative coins, they commemorate states for the most part, not always, or they commemorate important landmarks, or like I said, the Monroe Doctrine in one case. Some of them can be pretty tasteless. Some of them are blatantly racist. You know, I've had this thing I've talked about, like, just use your imagination with that COVID coin. You guys might remember I had a coin that it was a Kennedy half dollar. It had a coronavirus mint mark on it, and I had a hoax on my joke TikTok account, or my comedy TikTok account, where I said that I found it in a roll, and it was this rare thing put out by the mint, and people believed it. It's like, just use common sense. Would the mint put out something like that commemorating a virus killing people? No. But that being said, a lot of these commemorative coins are pretty bad. Let me show you. These coins do make this my most expensive informative segment I have produced, because I bought all these coins pretty much just to show you guys this for this explanation, and you're looking at over $1,000 here, like well over $1,000 that I've sunk into acquiring these. And some of these are, I mean, I'm gonna make money on these for sure, but a lot of money to sink right now into something. Anyway, so this is the Columbia Exposition one. The first one features Columbus on the obverse and the ships in the New World and the Old World on the reverse, and as you can see, this one has good toning. But these coins are pretty common, not terribly desirable by collectors. Some of these other ones I really like. This one here, this is probably the most desirable one by collectors. This is the Texas commemorative. It's an eagle, a very prominent eagle standing in front of the Star of Texas on the obverse, and the, I don't know, the wings of Lady Liberty, the wings of Lady Independence on the back, on the reverse, like a protective angel. Yeah, this coin I'm asking $320 on an MS-64. An MS-67, these can be like $10,000. These are expensive. They are very, very, very low mintage. In fact, a lot of these coins, what's cool about them is they just don't mint very many of them, or they never did. So they're pretty hard to find. This one's pretty rare too. This is a pilgrim commemorating 400 years since the Mayflower. So it's got the ship on the reverse, a pilgrim on the obverse. And yeah, this is almost a $300 coin right here. What's unfortunate though, is it's in an AccuGrade slab. It's a sham grader. Although I think the grade is probably accurate on this coin. This does look like at least an MS64. Because it's a sham grader, I actually can't sell this on eBay. eBay pulls it down, so I'm kind of having some trouble selling this one. This one's interesting. The Stone Mountain Commemorative. This was made to raise money for the Confederate monument Stone Mountain. And the Daughters of the Confederacy worked with the mint to make this like a fundraising project for completing Stone Mountain. Or as I call it, thinking back to my experience at Stone Mountain, Stoned Mountain. Because my friend David and I had a lot of fun walking around getting, well, you can imagine. Yeah, so this, I mean, like I said, some of these some of these coins are pretty tasteless. And like this one, not only is it commemorating, you know, Stone Mountain, the Confederacy, but this went toward financing a Confederate monument, which just 100 years later, think about how crazy that is. This one is funny. This is the Arkansas State Commemorative, and it features Lady Liberty and an Indian standing shoulder to shoulder. And what's funny about a lot of these coins, they kind of whitewash history, or like they tell a history that is not real, and obviously like, this ain't how it went. Lady Liberty did not stand shoulder to shoulder with a Native American. Lady Liberty fucking strangled that Native American. This is one from Maryland. I think that's Lord Baltimore on the obverse, the founder of Mary's Land, or the founder of the territory. This is one, if this had not been cleaned, it would add $200 to the value. Unfortunately, because it has been cleaned, instead of being almost a $400 coin, it's $175. But we have, looks like a prospector panning for gold on the obverse, and a bear on the reverse, like the California state flag. Here we have one for San Diego. It's like Lady Liberty sitting with like a pet. Is it a wolf or a lion or dog? I can't tell. So there are collectors that just collect these coins. I think these are very, very cool coins. They're very interesting. They tell a story. They're historical items. It's just funny because many of them are very tasteless. Very tasteless. They have not aged well. Well, just like that, it is the end of the day and the end of the episode. If you guys like this video, be sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the notification button so you know when new episodes of Pawn Man are coming out. Become a Pawn Man Patreon. Every dollar I get goes toward improving the show. Follow me on social media at Evan Kale, at Pawn Man. Questions, comments, put it in the section below. Get my books on Amazon, and I will see you guys back here for another episode of Pawn Man. Later, guys.